Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. Thank you for joining us. What a day. The 6 songs for the UK Eurovision You Decide show have been released. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned on tonight's show. It will be fire. We have got a great lineup of guests for you tonight. We have a few newbies as well as some good old returners. Let's say hello to our first newbie of the evening. We have Andy Brooke.
Hello.
Hi, Andy. We also have, as a newbie, we have Emily.
Hello.
We have returning. We haven't seen him since the Melody Festivalen show, but we are delighted to say howdy to Jason Darcy.
Hello.
Nice flag. You didn't show me that before. It's good. Thank you for bringing that along. We also have returning as always, Joe.
Hi.
From the Let Me Be the One blog and radio show, we have Martin Palmer.
Hi, everyone.
We have the couple of Eurovision. We have Phil and Michelle.
Hello. All right.
All right.
And we have my co-host as always. We have Tom.
Hey.
Tom, I just want to say before we get started, brilliant job on Saturday night. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Cheers, mate. I'm glad you like that because I'll be back tomorrow night.
You certainly will. We've got our Australian show tomorrow night. We will be reviewing the first 6 Australian songs which have been commercially released. And we'll be bringing that to you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central European time. Great to see so many people joining the chat room. Keep that coming. Make sure you click the like button and also make sure you do subscribe to our channel. Really appreciate it. And we're grateful that you can join us. So 3 songs, 6 acts have been launched today for the UK national final, Eurovision You Decide. I think it's fair to say the BBC have gone some way to improving upon last year. They have contracted some really big names in the music industry. We have 3 songs. Big question is, did the UK get the cream of the crop this year, or will the UK flop come May? Let's find out. And also we'll ask the question, after all the rumours, where the hell is Talisa? That's what is on everyone's lips. Never believe a Twitter Eurovision rumour. That's my tip of the day. Never believe a Eurovision rumour started by fans. There you go. I'll give you that one for free. If you did, we would have Zoe Burkett from X Factor performing every single year for the UK. No question. So what about the UK entries this year? Let's start with the first song. It's Bigger Than Us. It's a big ballad. It's written by Laurel Barker, who wrote the song Legends by Sander from last year's Eurovision You Decide. She also wrote Stones by Zibs, which took part for Switzerland in Eurovision last year. And she wrote the finalist All the Feels by Renada, who took part in the Melody Festivalen final in 2018. Anna-Klara Folin came from Fame Factory in Sweden. She's co-wrote the song My Turn, also with Jonas Thander, who is also a writer of Bigger Than Us. Jonas Thander wrote My Turn in 2018. He's also written for Fifth Harmony. He's written for Ariana Grande and also Donny Montel with the song I've Been Waiting For Tonight from Eurovision 2016. And he's also done a bit for Taylor Swift as well. And finally, the 4th writer of the 4, John Lundvik. Now, John Lundvik took part in Melody Festivalen and sang the song My Turn last year. He will also take part in the Melody Festivalen semi-finals again in 2019. The song is sung by Michael Rice of X Factor and All Together Now. In 2018, just last year, he won All Together Now with 84 judges standing to second place, Victoria with 43. He's also appeared in X Factor at the age of 16. He's 20 now. He comes all the way from Hartlepool, and he's well known on YouTube, singing the song Years and Years, which created his fame before he took part in X Factor and All Together Now. I think the song to me sounds like an X Factor winning song. We're going to ask the panel, and we are going to start with Andy. Andy, what did you make of this song?
Well, I know it is very, very popular with the fans after one day. But I'm not keen at all. I think the lyrics are trite, and trite rhymes with shite. You know, I could write a better lyric in 5 minutes than what we've got here. And the anthemic sound is trying to be Austria 2018, but it doesn't have the quality. He doesn't have the charisma. He doesn't have the voice. I've looked at some of his other songs on YouTube. It's like a karaoke singer down the pub for me. But the very worst thing of all is the key change. All Eurovision fans love a key change, but this is the worst key change in the whole world. And the point of a key change is that it leads to a big anthemic hands in the air final chorus. And what does this do? It leads to a breakdown. And then there isn't time to get back into the song. The song's finished. So the structure of the song is all wrong. It's actually very similar structure to Storm last year, which, you know, there was a part of Storm which was great, the middle minute of it, but not the end and not the beginning. And we've got the same problem here. A song that superficially sounds quite good, but actually is not going to work.
And Emily, what is your take on this song?
I wasn't mad on it. I have to say, I did a little list of 6, you know, put them in order. And this was actually my bottom one, this version of the song. And I have to say, it was the key change that just made it slip for me, similar to Andy. I didn't dislike the song, and I didn't think it was a poor performance or anything. It just didn't quite grab me. And I just found it just slightly too over the top with the key change and the big kind of glorified ending. And then, as Andy said, sort of dropping to the breakdown. So not my favourite by any stretch of the imagination. However, I did put Suri last year on my list of 6. So that might mean it might win. Who knows?
No, but so did I.
Oh.
But then look what happened to it. You know,
Well,
23rd, 24th
they should
in the
have
final.
listened to us.
Yeah, well, quite.
And Tom, what was your thoughts on this?
I quite liked it, but I have to say, like Emily, like Andy, it's ended up towards the bottom of my list. Alas, I think there are better songs, dare I say it, better versions of the song around as well.
Well, we'll come to that in a minute. And finally, Joanne, tell us why this is the song that's going to win Eurovision You Decide.
I do think it is going to win. Not out of choice, personally. It's just the fact that it's anthemic. It's to Eurovision in a way. I also think unlike the others, I don't like the key change at all whatsoever. I think it will be revamped if it wins, and hopefully that it will take it out. I just think the British public will end up voting for it because of the fact that it's anthemic. And everyone has this little box that they put everyone in, isn't it? Oh, this is what a Eurovision song for the UK should look like. And I think that fits that box for the general public.
Thanks. And song 2, also bigger than us, is sung by Holly Tandy. Now, Holly was born on the 21st of July 2001. She's 17 years old. She comes from Barnsley. She participated in season 14 of the X Factor 2017 and came and got as far as the quarter-final stage, mentored by Sharon Osbourne. So, I mean, arguably, she's one of the more experienced singers, you would say. Jason, is this a favourite of yours?
I preferred Michael's over Holly's, but Holly has the better voice. She projects it better. I like the key change to start off with, but the more I listened to it, the more false it sounded. So in this case, it kind of works better than Michael's version. I think they're both, the song's trying to go for a Greatest Showman type song, which I think is, if we could do it correctly, would be a really good song, because people like that kind of feel-good music at the moment, but it falls somewhere. It doesn't quite make it, which is a shame, really. It's not as it's like Surrey's last year. We wanted it to get somewhere, and it just didn't. It kind of petered out, and it's a bit like this one, I think. But I think you're right. I think it's either Holly or Michael's version. It might win this because it's the song actually is probably the one that most people will like, I think.
Is it the most immediate, do we think?
I think it is. Personally, for me, it's not my favourite, but I think the public will probably push this through one way or the other. Either Holly or actually looking at the betting at the moment, they're actually Michael's first, I think, and Holly's version is third, and that's 24 hours. But the more you play a song, the more it kind of disappears, or you like it or you don't like it in your head. So we'll see.
We're a fickle lot, us Eurovision fans, aren't we? Tomorrow it's pretty different at the top.
Totally, yeah.
Michelle, Phil, you love this song, I can tell. Tell us how fantastic it is, and it's going to win Eurovision. Or, well, actually, it's going to win Eurovision, you decide. Let's start there.
I prefer the other version. I thought this was just a little bit bland and wouldn't really stand out. You know, it just sounded a bit dull to me, but my darling wife, I think, disagrees.
Yeah, he's wrong. He's always wrong. I like it better than Michael's version, but you see, it's not too bad. It's better than Michael's, but I think it will get lost at Eurovision.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not a standout song. It's just going to be middle of the road, a nowhere song, and it's far too repetitive. There's not enough words in it. It's just the same sentence over and over again. I think it's just a bit dull.
And Martin.
Yeah, for me, on first listen, I had Michael first, and I had Holly probably second, a bit with kerrie-anne. So I think really big for me, Bigger Than Us is the best song. I think Michael's you could probably do more with. I liked Holly. I think Holly's actually got probably the best voice of everyone here, of all the six. But I'm not quite sure the way that her version sounds would actually be as good as Michael's. So in a way, for me, I think this is the key duel. I think whoever wins this will probably win Eurovision You Decide and go to Tel Aviv. That's my personal view. And so but I think this is the big crunch match, and it's obviously going to be interesting to see how the panel decide which one they're going to put forward for us punters to vote on. Well, us punters, not you, because you won't have a mobile phone. So.
Thank you for that. Like to see him try. and finally, Joanne.
Well, with Holly, yeah. I mean, I do prefer that version. I have to say, if I'm honest. I didn't to start with, and I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times now. And the more I listen to it, the more I think that she's got the potential for it to be revamped and to grow a little bit. But I do agree with the others. I think out of all of them, it is the better song. You know, I can probably see one of them winning, and it is the duel that's going to be the closest.
So what we're going to do now is just go through each of us and just give one name quickly who you think will win this duel. We're going to start with Andy. Andy, out of these 2 competitors, who do you expect to qualify?
Oh, Holly.
And Emily?
Was there a Holly?
Yeah.
Holly Tandy.
I'll go with Holly too. Holly for me.
Jason?
Michael.
Joanne?
Holly.
It's 3-1 so far. Holly's winning it. Martin?
I'll go for Michael. I think they'll be able to do more of the staging for him.
I think we're going to have to give Michelle and Phil a vote each here. So what are we going for? I feel it might be a mixed answer in any case.
I'm going to go with Michael of the 2.
Because he's wrong, it's Holly.
So what's that? That's 5-3, isn't it? And finally, Tom.
Personally, I reckon the public are going to end up voting for Michael, although I have been monitoring the chat room. Quick shout out to one of our regular panelists, Tristan, who's gone for Holly.
He's gone for Holly. Well, I think we've kind of made that a draw, haven't we? Are we a bit undecided? Is that kind of a draw?
But it's not going to be the public who decides between them. It's going to be the judges who decide which of the 2 versions goes to the public vote. So we have no say in which of the 2 versions of the songs goes to the public vote.
Yes, yeah, predetermined on the night, and I guess whoever performs
before the night.
No, it'd be on the night. Whoever performs it better. Whoever performs it better.
Yeah.
No bias intended.
But the thing is, we will get the choice of voting for possibly 2 of the favourite performances.
Yeah, but I suppose it takes a little bit of emotion out for us, doesn't it? I mean, I remember going into the Eurovision You Decide final a few years ago, and the young lady, can't remember her first name, Mastriano, was the Selena, thank you, was the favourite, and bless her, it wasn't good live, and it bombed. Now, us as fans, maybe, certainly I was when I was in the hall. It sounded great to me in the hall, but live on TV, it was terrible, and maybe I would have voted for it if I could take a phone in. Which I now have discovered I can't, so I won't be voting for it.
Just,
it's all your fault if we choose the wrong one.
can I just throw in chat room 2 more votes for Michael? I think Michael has swayed it.
Ooh.
So I think we summarised there. I think we'll say at the first tune, Michael's just about edging it. So
Can
yeah.
I say something about Michael, please?
Sure.
I was wondering how he had like the big choir, anthemic choir thing and everything. How's that going to work? You're not allowed a choir on stage.
No. But then Katrina and the Waves had anthemic choir type with just 2 really good backing singers. It can be done, and Caesar Sampson had, well, I don't know how many he'd had, probably 3 or 4. You can
he had 3.
You can get it. Obviously you've got to have good singers there, though.
No, but it's also done with reverb. So this choir sounds like it's a long way away.
It does.
And there's an awful lot of echo. And you can do that with 2 singers, never mind anything else. It's just a technique that won't be the problem.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
So I think to summarise, Michael wins the first battle. You heard it here first. ESC Fan TV believe that Michael will win the first duel. If it was down to the fans, who knows what the judges will think. Song 2, Freaks. Come to the land of the lost and lonely. Don't be afraid. We'll be one big family of freaks like you and me. Written by, I won't go to you, Martin, because I have a feeling I know how you feel about this already. John McGuire, Rick Parkhouse, Corey Sanders, and George Tizard, 4 British songwriters, singer-songwriters in some cases, wrote the song. John McGuire, 31 years old, from Blackwood in Caerphilly, has written songs as part of Lily Green and McGuire. Rick Parkhouse and George Tizard are part of Red Triangle, and they've sold over 6 million in records with various artists. And Corey Sanders is a 20-year-old singer-songwriter who works for the Spirit Music Group and is just starting out. And I'd just like to bring in Luke Davies. Thanks, Luke, for joining us. Looks like you're wearing your Union Jack suit there.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you for joining us. So for those listening on the podcast, we've just been joined by Luke, and he was a bit late coming in, but he's going to join us now and discuss the songs. So we got a full complement of guests. Freaks is about celebrating everyone's individual personality, about the people who maybe don't get in, and it's about bringing everyone together. The first singer, Jordan Clark, 24, from London. He's born in Essex. He's part of London-based band Chasing Midnight. He's a bit of a YouTube sensation. He's released songs Stuck in Love and Forever Yours on YouTube. He's the youngest of 4 kids, I should say, in his family. He's the only boy in the family. He's been performing since the age of 3. He appeared in the film Finding Neverland with Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet at the age of 6 years old. Bit of interesting trivia there. Was in Britain's Got Talent in 2013, a member of the group The Luminites, went on to reach the final. He says to represent his country at Eurovision would be so much fun. It's like representing England at the World Cup. Insert football references. So, football or soccer, depending on how you look at it.
Soccer.
Freaks by Jordan Clark. Andy, what did you make of this one?
This is by far my favourite of the 3 songs. The lyrics of none of the 3 have very good lyrics, but this has by far the best, which, given that it's written by British people, is and it's their first language, is probably not surprising. I love the combination of a contemporary sounding verse with a hippie-style 60s anthemic chorus. And it sounds a little bit like Puff the Magic Dragon to my ears. You listen to the chorus, you know it, you can sing along with it on first hearing because it's a theme that's been used over and over again. That's not a bad thing. That happens all the time. And it will draw people in. The song finishes, you can still sing it. That's a good thing in Eurovision terms. My only question is whether he's a good performer, because I've never heard of him. I've never seen him. If he can perform it and perform it well, I think it would be a good song for us to send.
And Tom, what do you make of Freaks by Jordan Clark?
Oh, I was singing this all through lunchtime and did people's heads in, I think, at work. Oh, what a chorus. It's so catchy. I love it. It's brilliant. I think the only thing that I would say is that I think it's going to be more my guilty pleasure than anything else. I'm not sure if it's going to actually win. You decide. But I think if they get the performance right, this is going to be a lot of fun on the night. And I think, I could just bounce around to that all evening.
I think I'm a different planet to you guys. I can't stand this at all. I think it's dreadful.
Well done, Stuart.
Yes.
Oh,
There's three of us.
Stuart, you need to come to the land of the lost and lonely.
I think it's a lonely place, Tom. So, bringing in Luke. Luke, what did you make of this song? I have a feeling you're on the same path as me here.
I am, and I've noticed today when I said it wasn't a good entry, it's not become a popular choice, but I'm splitting hairs really, because one part I say it's like a Bucks Fizz song, and we all know Bucks Fizz won the contest, but partly at the same point I say it's got that bit of James Morrison in it, and I'm not James Morrison's biggest fan, and the lyrics I don't warm to really.
Thanks, Luke. And Emily, did it float your boat?
It actually did. I have to say, of the two versions, if I'm allowed to mention the other one, because I know you're asking me about this first one, I thought I preferred the other one because I heard this one first and thought it works. I liked the quirkiness of it, but I did find when it got to the chorus, I didn't quite like the orchestration and things of that bit work. And then when I heard the Three Girls version, I thought that is exactly how not how I would have done it, but I just liked kind of how they interpreted the chorus. I thought it was really strong. So this is of the three songs, just looking at the song composition as opposed to the performance, this is the one I like the best, definitely.
And Freaks performed by Maid, or M-A-I-D. I'm not sure how that's interpreted just yet. Blythe, she's 24, from Edinburgh. She's a professional roller skater. She's currently in Aladdin in the West End. She's understudy to the role of Jasmine, who was also played by Jade Ewan back in 2009. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? 2009. Miracle, 26. Miracle Chance is her full name. She's from Devon. She has brothers Brave and sister Silver. Yeah. And Kat, 27, from Bristol. It's half, there you go, Jason. Half Norwegian. She plays violin. And Eurovision is not new to her. She used to go back to Norway for Eurovision parties each May, so she's used to the whole Eurovision scene. The band was formed in 2018 after meeting at drama school and performing in the West End. Currently writing their first EP. I'm coming to Martin on this. Freaks by a Maid. What do you think they would be their chances at Eurovision? You decide.
Well, of the three songs, for me, this is the one I can't get hold of at all, don't like. So in a way, it doesn't really matter for me who wins out of these two, because I would have them as third. Anyway, out of the two, I would prefer this version purely because they harmonised together quite well and they've got interesting voices. And therefore, because of that, I can cope with this version better than Jordan Clark's. But I don't like Freaks at all. So therefore, whoever wins out of it, for me, they would be my third choice, and they wouldn't be going to Tel Aviv. But there you go.
And Joanne, Freaks by Maid. What were your thoughts on this?
Oh, definitely my last place. Don't like it at all. I can't get the way they sing. I can't get their accents. The word soccer, the way they pronounce it, everything. I don't know. If it weren't, I would give up on the UK entirely and just support another country. I'd go and support Spain. I just can't stand it. Sorry. I don't like the song anyway. Not in the slightest. And Jordan's version for me is it, and that one's 6. And I'm sorry, Tom. I really am.
I'm going to have a quiet cry to myself.
It's all right, Tom. It can remain forever your guilty pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Stuart.
After all, we all have at least one Eurovision song that doesn't quite make it to Eurovision, that stays on our playlist that you're just too embarrassed to tell anyone about.
Oh no, I'm never too embarrassed. I'll happily tell everyone.
I was talking about me. And I guarantee you now, in a few weeks' time, that will be Dolly style.
Yes.
Jason, what did you make of this one?
The song I kind of like more the chorus than anything else. The freak like me thing. I think a lot of people are out there. The underdog. It's a song for underdogs. The UK is an underdog. I mean, come on, it's our song at the end of the day. We're never going to get anywhere at this rate with these couple of songs. Even this next, the top 10 maybe with one of them if they boosted it up, but it's going to be a long time since we get back to the top again. So the underdog song, keen on May's version, I must admit that. It's okay, gets a bit lost on me. Jordan's version is a bit more bouncier, I suppose. Been looking at him online, actually put him on Twitter today to say congratulations, and within 5 minutes, God love him, he was on there straight away saying thank you very much. So he's a bit desperate. He looks a bit wet behind the ears though, so I don't know live what he'll be like live. The videos look very good, but videos are very good, aren't they? They're all performed. He looks polished. When it's live, not quite sure if he's going to get it. It is probably my second favourite song out of the three of them.
And Michelle and Phil made Freaks. What did you make of that song?
It sucks ass. It is
Tell it like it is, love.
I could quote from my book. Rubbish. The other version was bad, but this is dreadful. We can't forgive calling football soccer. No for me.
Well, I'm with Tom on this. I quite like the song, but the other version was better. This was a bit too slow. It needs a bit more tempo. Well, I like the song. It's the only one that I can still remember of the three. It's the only tune that I can still remember how the tune goes of the three.
Bill, I owe you a pint, mate.
Yeah.
No.
Stuck in my head all day.
Do you know what I'm learning, actually? I'm learning today, having read different posts on various social media, just how different our musical styles are. And, this is just three songs. And I think you could cut Eurovision fans down in 3/3, couldn't you? Because everybody likes one song, and then somebody else likes another, and you get another group of people saying, "Well, that's a load of rubbish," and I like this one. So thankfully,
it's all relative, though, Stuart, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say, thankfully, we've got the juries to make the decision for us. Otherwise, we might end up with Scooch again.
Oh no!
Cindy was robbed that year. Wogan was right.
Oh God!
Hey, we voted for it. It's our fault. So, Freaks, Freaks, let's go around the panel. And so it's your choice as to whether Jordan, Clark, or Maid win this duel. Andy, what are you thinking? Jordan. Emily?
Maids all the way.
Maid. Jason?
Jordan.
Joanne?
Jordan.
Luke?
Week one, but I'm going to say Jordan.
And Martin?
Out of the two horrendous ones, Maid.
Phil, Michelle?
Oh, God.
Jordan for me.
Oh, you'd have to stab me in the face to make me give a decision on this. Both rubbish.
And finally, Tom.
My vote's for Jordan, and I'd like to give a shout out to the chat room where Tristan has also offered his support for Jordan. But Matt in the chat room, Michelle, says he agrees 100% with you all the way. So you have a kindred spirit.
He's a big fan too, is he?
Massive.
I think the production value's risen this year. I think I may be alone in saying this. I don't know whether the BBC have decided to spend their money on just three songs and then hence improve the quality overall. But I'm really buoyant. I'm really positive.
I feel the same, Stuart. I agree with you on that, definitely.
I mean, I don't know what we, us as fans, really ever want. I mean, we're so undecided. You know, I think if you could give us 3 Euphorias, and I think we'd find something to whinge about.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Sweet Lies, the 3rd song. Keep telling me lies. Keep telling me sweet, sweet lies. Sounds a bit like a Fleetwood Mac song.
No, it really doesn't.
Written by Maria Broberg, who wrote Fly by Teodora Dinu in last year's Romanian selection. Hands up if you knew that.
Yeah.
We do now.
Tristan would know that.
She's a singer-songwriter from Sweden, but she's living and studying in London. She's written the song Heaven Can Wait, which was #1 in the Swedish dance charts. Lisa Cable, who is a phenomenal songwriter, most will know, or some will know, that she co-wrote the 2013 Eurovision winner, Only Teardrops. So real pedigree here. And also the 1995 Danish song, Fra Malsterskagen. She's written over 10 songs for the Danish Melody Grand Prix. And finally, Esben Svane is also Danish indie singer-songwriter, but more of a YouTube artist. So 3 singer-songwriters with great pedigree. And the song Sweet Lies is performed by Kerrie-Anne Phillips, who is 32. She's a singer-dancer. She took part in X Factor in 2015, made it to the judge's house. Her music style is influenced by church music. Her brother is a hip-hop soul producer. Her sister plays the harp. Kerrie-Anne is a qualified teacher, and in fact was teaching in Dubai when the call for X Factor came in. So she went over to the London studios to audition. She says, the style of my music is up-tempo, but at the same time, the lyrics are quite poignant. It's all about blissful ignorance. You know, something is drastically wrong when your relationship, but you choose to ignore the signs because you love that person. So what do we think of Kerrie-Anne and Sweet Lies, Jason?
Well, it's definitely a Manchester Calling song. It's one of those bangers that they all seem to love. So out of the 3 of them, for me, this was the most professional one. I think it's going to do quite well with us. It's a fan song, I think. It may get through if people want a nice bouncy, but it's about time we've sent a bouncy one through. We haven't had a good dance song for a long time. I like it. This is my favourite, but I don't think it's going to win. I think it's just going to be a I wish it could win song. I've also read that she's good at languages and she can sing this in Spanish and Italian as well. So that might help her if it does go through. But so I'm not sure. I hope it will, but I've got a feeling it's not. It's going to be I think it's going to be bigger than us that goes through, which is a shame because I think this one would do well.
Just to point on that though, Jason, singing in multiple languages does you no favours in the Eurovision national final. Just go and ask the girl from France at the weekend, whiskey cocktails, rum, rum, rum. She sang in English, French, Spanish. Didn't do her any good at all. Bless her, she still tried. But good point. Andy, what did you make of this one?
Oh, well, I think it should go. I think this is the song to send. And in this version, it's not my favourite song. The lyrics are pretty poor, but it doesn't really, and you know what she says about the lyrics, just forget that. It's just words that rhyme and don't even quite rhyme. Excuse me. But that's not the point. It's a good bouncy pop song, and if it's chosen, I think it'd be popular with the fans, not just in the UK but across Europe, and that's a good thing. And the pooch likes it.
Yeah.
Ray!
Ray!
Martin
just farted.
Moving on quickly. Martin, come in quickly.
How can I follow that? But anyway, yeah.
Just don't follow through.
No, not. This will be the one, I think, if anything's going to challenge Bigger Than Us, whichever version I like, this would be the one to challenge it. It's a good dance track. The one thing I would worry about, and I'd have to see what happens, is that every up-tempo song we've had in the last few national finals, everyone's gone, this sounds amazing, has flopped because they've then put too much into it and the singings and the vocals have suffered. Obviously, I had Sandra, we've had Selena. That would be my only worry. But if they could manage that this could be a challenger on the night. And I think out of the two for Sweet Lies, I think this is probably the one that's going to make it through to be voted on.
And Luke, what do you think of Sweet Lies and Kerrie-Anne?
Well, I've got to say, firstly, Step This Way, Kerrie-Anne. The song is fantastic. It's up tempo, it's catchy, and it is memorable. This is my favourite. The only thing is that if it does win, the BBC will have to work hard on the performance to try and capture the viewer's eyes. Of course, that would take time because it's got to make sense of the song. But I think if we send this, we could be looking at a top 15 place.
As much as
That's the spirit.
Could you not have said top 26?
Well, trying to stay positive, Stuart. But I think anything above 26 would be a good result.
Definitely. Anything above Spain, based on what they've sent.
Oh, completely. Anything's better than Spain.
I'll bring Andy in on that point because he loves Spain. But actually, Andy, question for you about the three sets of songs. None of these singers have written any of these songs. They've all been written for them, and we found that last year. And Suri was a little critical. A little critical, fair to say, that she wasn't able to have a hand in the writing. Does that put the singers at a disadvantage, do you think?
No, not necessarily. A good singer and a good song can work very well together, and some of the very best songs in the world. I mean, Elvis Presley didn't write a song of his own at all. However, the singer has to be well matched with the song. And I'm not sure that that's the case here. So if you have a song that is written to be performed in two different versions by two different people, the worry is that neither set of people will really feel invested in it. They'll be having a little competition with the other one as to who gets through to the final. And instead of putting all their energy into owning the song. So that's the worry about singing somebody else's song. You have to like the song. And if you don't like the song, no matter what you do to it, you can sell it. So, Suri sold a song she didn't like and a song that none of us liked. And we all agreed, I think, that it was the right song to send on the night. But what we ended up doing was sending probably one of the worst songs just because on the night it was performed the best. That's not going to work. I think we should send the best song and hope that the performance will be good on the night. But, take your choice.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to that point in a minute. Thank you, Andy. So the final song sung by Anissa, Sweet Lies with Anissa. Anissa was born in Manchester, so she hasn't got far to go. Salford's just around the corner. She's 31, not 16, as another Anissa that was on a recent talent show. If you Google her, the word Anissa, you might find two. She's the oldest of three sisters in a family of five, studies international management with French at Manchester University, or did. She was named by the BBC Asia Networks as one of its future sounds in 2016. She co-wrote the song Piano by Ariana Grande, which is on her album. She also recently co-wrote a song for 2016 Swedish entrant France, and has been featured on tracks by Chipmunk and Rich 32. First time Anissa has performed a song that she's not physically had a hand in writing, hence going back to my point a minute or two ago. Emily, what did you make of Anissa's interpretation of Sweet Lies?
I actually really enjoyed this one. I'd heard the other version first and thought, this is great, echoing what other people have just said about it being a real Euro belter, as I always like to call them. And so I'd really enjoyed that version. And then I heard this and thought, actually, this kind of really works as well. It's quite interesting what the BBC have done this time, because when I read about them doing the two different versions of the same song, I was a little bit sceptical. But I've actually really enjoyed how this has been, just listening to them today. And particularly in the case of this one, where it felt very, very different as a song. I really enjoyed it. Either of these two kind of work for me. I kind of prefer the upbeat one, just for who was it just said about it. We haven't had a kind of a nice upbeat one for quite a long time, and also if you get the staging right on that and the singer really does it powerfully, it can be absolutely brilliant and so much fun. But it's a lot harder to stage that than standing doing a powerful ballad when you've already got a great voice. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with either of these versions, really. Still like Freaks the most, so just want to put my little plug in for that one again. So yeah, so that's my Freaks, yeah. But I can see why Freaks overall wouldn't be as successful with a kind of a general public as this song would, either version, because it has more instant appeal. It just absolutely has, and that matters at Eurovision, as we know.
Yeah. And Michelle, Phil, did you like this version of Sweet Lies by Anissa?
I didn't. I mean, I wasn't keen on this song, to be honest. One of the things I thought was last year, Netta won with a song about female empowerment, and this is a song about a woman basically who doesn't mind being treated like shit as long as she gets it. But I thought this version dragged a bit. It was too slow, and I preferred the upbeat one. Also,
but Phil, I did notice it's written by 3 women.
Bean. All ends with crumble.
And Michelle, do you share the same view as your husband?
I do. Nobody's more shocked than me. I like the Kerrie-Anne version. I really do. But I just thought this one, it just took too long to kick in. I got sort of bored waiting for it to kick in, and then it just didn't bother. But I really like the Kerrie-Anne one, though.
And Joanne, what did you make of this version?
Yeah, this one was a bit of a snooze fest for me, I'm afraid. I much prefer the Kerrie-Anne version. She don't get me wrong, the girl's got pedigree. There's no doubt about it. Like, her writing skills are, I'm sure, are second to none. But again, it's a shame that she wasn't allowed to do some writing herself, so to speak. Yeah, I think it would have to have a major overhaul, let's say, if it got through. Too snoozy.
And Tom, what did you make of Anissa?
This is an entry for me that I keep on changing my mind about. The first time I listened to it, I thought it was haunting. I thought there was an element of fragility in there. And it's one that I'm thinking the staging could actually cause a shock. And I think Kerrie-Anne needs to be careful on the night if she's to get through the duel. Because if they stage this version correctly, she's going to get through. And I'm thinking if you have a spotlight there, if you have like red rose petals falling down in the background, if you create the right atmosphere for this song, she's certainly got the voice for it. This could be the dark horse of the night, and this could do very well. Very reminiscent for me of how I felt towards Lucy Jones a couple of years ago with her song. And I think it's got real potential.
Well, I've predicted the winner the last 2 years, and I'm going to tell you now that this song will win. This is the Eurovision You Decide winner incoming. She reminds me of Shola so much. Genre R&B stroke ballad, and I think it really works in this type of environment. I can see her stood there with in a black dress with gold behind, a bit similar to what Lucy Jones did, and performing the heck out of this song. And as much as Kerrie-Anne is a fan favorite stroke banger right now, I think this is the song that will beat her, and I think this is the song that will go on to represent the United Kingdom at Eurovision. But that's just my thought. Andy,
where do you think it will come when it does?
Well, we haven't got the other. I don't know the other 26 songs yet, but I think
you can make a fair
top
guess.
16.
I think it'll be the top. I think it'll do really well, Andy. I think it will finish somewhere in the top 26. So, Andy,
yeah,
Kerrie-Anne or Anissa for you?
Oh, Kerrie-Anne.
Emily.
Anissa.
Jason.
Kerrie-Anne.
Joanne.
Kerrie-Anne.
Luke.
Kerrie-Anne.
Martin.
Yeah, Kerrie-Anne for me.
Phil, Michelle, and that's not an instruction.
Kerrie-Anne. Kerrie-Anne.
And finally, Tom.
I'm going to go for Anissa. I'm also going to give a shout out to the chat room. Matt has gone for kerrie-anne. Tristan's gone for kerrie-anne. Rodders Wigbert de Maskell has said that Phil and Michelle are real value for money.
They are.
How much money?
I totally agree. Actually, they're both absolutely free.
Yeah, and Darren Stokes in the chat room has done a shout out to Luke and Jason this evening as well.
Wow, was that a wow, Tom?
No, I think that was Luke actually. He went wow.
Yeah. Oh, well. I thought you said wow. I thought we were getting a little bit of chat room flirting going on here.
No, it's just the fact that Darren's going to shout out to Luke and Jason. Obviously, none of us though.
No, clearly not. Clearly not. We'll put more makeup on next time, Tom. We're getting ready to close the show down now. I think what we'll do before we go though is we'll just go around each of our contestants and get their views. Do we think we've got a potential? I'm not going to say winner, but have we got a song here that can finish in the top 10 for the first time in 10 years for the UK? Andy?
No.
Emily?
Well, let's give it an optimistic yes.
Optimistic yes. Jason, have we got a song that can finish in the top 10?
Left-hand side of the board, maybe.
Well, that's nearly top 10.
Nearly left hand.
Joanne, you surely you're going to be a little bit more optimistic than these guys.
I wish. No.
Luke, with your Union Jack suit on, surely you're a top tenner.
I'm gonna have to say we're gonna have to wait and see.
This is not going how I hoped it would.
That's a Theresa May style answer. That one. Wait and
Well, it's deja. Because I say if it's top 10, it'd probably be deja vu again.
Well, you were top 10 with Lucy, weren't you? And she just missed out. Bless her. Yeah, Martin, have we got a top 10?
If we have a Vienna situation where there's 3 acts that are miles ahead of everybody else and everybody else has got a few points, then yeah, we'll get a top 10, but I don't think so.
Well, we will, because Sweden are going to win it by an absolute landslide.
So you need at least 3 acts miles ahead, so there's loads of points for them.
Yeah. Michelle, Phil,
Yeah,
there we go. See, we got one at least. Phil, are you going to be on the
nothing?
Yeah.
It's top 10.
Top 10. Good. Phil.
Maybe. I mean, I'd like to say yes, but you've got to see what the performance is like, really. Go on, let's say yes.
Good. You can go off, Peter.
Finally, Tom. Tom, do we think we've got a top 10 contender in this list?
Well, again, I've been monitoring the chat room. Matt in the chat room reckons we're looking about 17th at best, but I say no, top 10. We are going to get top 10 this year. Okay, all out, in for the win.
I'm going to go along with and agree with you, Tom. I think
you said top 10 as well.
He said top 10. I think if we send Sweet Lies with Anissa, then we've got every chance of finishing top 10. So don't make the mistake of voting in the song that you just think is a banger. Think strategically about this. What song could really do well at Eurovision? And when it comes to the 8th of February on BBC 2, is it? I think BBC 2. Yeah. Make sure we make the right decision for a song that we're proud of and stands the best chance to do well.
But on a personal note, can I just say, don't make a song and dance about it, okay? Because last year I got 25 to 1 on Suri just before she went on stage.
Tom, go stick your money on Anissa right now. What's the odds on Anissa, by the way? It must be 25 to 1, surely.
That is a good question. Give me a moment and I will find out.
While you're doing that, I noticed we've got loads of people in the chat room. We're about to close down. Are there any final questions for the panel? Guess not. We're coming through.
No, there's nothing. I'm checking the chat room. Nothing's coming up at the moment.
Well, what we're doing
in terms of that, but in terms of UK, you decide. I can tell you that Anissa Sweet Lies is currently 7-1. Along with Holly Tandy's version of Bigger Than Us. Kerrie-Anne is there at whatever 3.25 to 1 is. Can't work that out off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But Michael, it's done in decimals. And Michael Rice is the favourite. But also, I have to say that Jordan Clark's Freaks is sitting there at 12-1. You know, come on, people, that's got to be worth it.
Go and spend a tenner. Go and stick it on Anissa. It'll be the easiest 70 quid you've ever made. Guaranteed. Look, what's coming up next on ESC Fan TV? Tomorrow night, we have some very special guests joining us. Someone joining us all the way from Belgium. We will be talking about Elliot, the Belgium representative, as well as Duncan Matthews, the Dutch representative. We will also be running through the 6 confirmed and released commercial entries for Australia, which of course includes the wonderful Courtney Act, who's so famous in the UK right now, having had hit shows with RuPaul's Drag Race and The By Life. We will also be covering Electric Fields. We will be talking a little bit about Shepherd's Song, which gets released on the 1st of February. And we'll also be asking the panel, what do they think of Serhat representing San Marino for the second time? Is he going after Valentina's record of 4 attempts? We will discuss that all tomorrow. Tom will be hosting, only available on escfantv.com. Don't forget to catch up on this show. You can rewatch on YouTube anytime you like. Go and click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. There's been about 25 to 30 people watching this show at any one time. Make sure you click the like button. If you don't, please do. And also make sure you click the subscribe button. Tomorrow, when you're going to work, you will be able to listen to this as a podcast. We record and distribute to iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and now Stitcher. So go and give us a listen and also click the subscribe button there. All that's left is for me to thank my guests. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Emily.
It was a pleasure, Stuart.
Thank you for being our newbies for tonight. Thank you both for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been great.
Thank you for coming back, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Flying the flag.
Yeah, flying the flag for you. Thank you as always, Joanne.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Luke.
Croeso, Stuart.
Cloister. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you, Phil and Michelle.
Bye.
What wonderful double acts you've been this evening. And finally, thank you, Tom. Tom will be hosting tomorrow night. Excited about tomorrow's show?
Oh, of course I am. And also, can I just give a massive shout out to that chat room? If you have any questions that you'd like me to put to tomorrow night's panel, don't forget, drop us a line on the chat room either now or send us a message. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're on all of them. Okay, and we'll see if you can come up with any inquisitive questions.
You just reminded me, Tom. You just reminded me. Not only have we got someone from Belgium coming on tomorrow, we've also got 2 Australians joining us. We've got one all the way from Sydney, and a member of OGay Australia will be joining us tomorrow. So big show, very excited. Join us at 10 p.m. Central European Time, 9 p.m. GMT. Do not miss ESC Fan TV this week. We will also be live after the Destination Eurovision final on Saturday night. Make sure you subscribe. Do not miss our show. It is fire. Thank you for joining. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.